So I put them on and I was like, what the hell is this? This is probably one of the most requested videos I get from you guys, as you keep asking me what headphones I use in the studio. So in this video, I'm going to rank all the headphones I use in the studio for years now, from best to worst. These are all headphones I've used extensively, and for some reason I've decided to keep. Some of them are headphones I will never part with, and some of them are headphones that I wouldn't recommend, but keep them nevertheless for reasons I will explain later. Okay, let's get started. Before we go into the first pair, let's talk about my tier list. So my top tier is the God tier, as good as it gets for a headphone. This is the tier where I'm going to place headphones that I think are the creme de la creme when it comes to mixing and mastering. These are going to be reference headphones that I personally trust for my mixing and mastering decisions, and I also use them for production. The second tier is the top choice tier. Now, this tier is going to be top choice headphones. You can't go wrong with them. I totally recommend them. The third tier is the gets the job done tier. So these are going to be decent headphones that are really good at what they do. They're not maybe exceptional, but it could be the best headphone that you can afford for your budget. Then we have unexceptional. These are headphones that I feel a little bit indifferent about. I wouldn't necessarily buy them again, and I maybe wouldn't recommend them as my first choice. So these are still passable headphones. And the last tier is, do we really not have anything else around? These are headphones that I would totally not recommend that you get. I wouldn't recommend that you spend your money on them. So now that we've gone through the tiers, let's start with this pair of headphones. This is the Beyerdynamic DT 770s Pro, and I want to make it clear this is the 80 ohm version, and I'm going to explain why I have this. Now these, I've had this for, I don't know, maybe 16 years or something like this. I know these headphones very well. I think they're a very decent pair of headphones. Now here's my problem with them. I don't think this is a pair of headphones that you should necessarily be mixing with or making like very informed decisions with. I like the fact that everything is replaceable on these headphones. So these, you know, ear cups, I replaced them recently. They're brand new, and now the headphones feel brand new. I also replaced this kind of headband. Again, love the fact that after so many years I can still use them, and they're serviceable. You can change the cable. Really nice headphones, really comfortable as well. They don't look comfortable, but they are quite comfortable. Now when it comes to sound, I would say that these are good for tracking. I like them for recording because they're closed back, of course. The reason why I have the 80 ohm headphones is because these used to be my travel headphones. I would take them everywhere with me back in the day when I didn't have so many pairs, and I wanted to be able to drive them with pretty much everything. So if I got the higher impedance version, it would be hard to drive them with any audio interface out there. So these are really versatile, but quite honestly, I feel they are a little bit hyped. So the low end is a little bit hyped. The top end is very hyped on these headphones, in my opinion. It's not as bad as other headphones, to be honest with you, because I've listened to other headphones and I found them extremely like sizzling and very unnatural. These are not so bad, but still I think they exaggerate the highs. What I do use these headphones for is when I want to judge my sibilance in a mix. This will really scream at you if you have sibilance on your vocals. So this is why I still use them. I double check on them when I am doing my mixes. And by the way, I'm gonna try and have the correction of these headphones according to the ARC On-Ear by IK Multimedia that I've been using for a while now, and you can see the graph right there. You can see they're a bright headphone. So let's see, where would I put these headphones? I would probably place them at gets the job done. I would say that if you can afford one pair of headphones, I think this could be it. Take the top end with a grain of salt, take the low end with a grain of salt, but of course, they are true, tried and tested headphones. Let's move on to my next pair. The next pair is going to be a little bit controversial. These are the Sony's MDR-7506. MDR-7506. And these are iconic headphones. You see them in recording studios. Many people in post use them. Many videographers use them. The actual audio guys, when you go and do like film shoots, they tend to use these headphones. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with these headphones. I love the fact that they're light. They can collapse. In my opinion, they're very comfortable. I really like them. The headband is really nice and chunky, but it doesn't really kind of presses against your head. But when it comes to sound, I'm really not a fan of these headphones. I am going to show you other headphones that I have in my collection that when I wear these after the other headphones, I feel that what the hell is wrong with these? To me, these sound harsh. They sound like the mid-range is really, really piercing. I don't find them pleasant to listen to. And I don't think this is necessarily a good thing. And I don't think that this is necessarily something that's going to help you when you're mixing. And by the way, just to show you how subjective sound is and maybe things like headphones are, I was lucky to have a conversation with Andrew Sheps a few months ago in a studio here in London, and he was saying that all he needs to mix is his Apollos and this pair of headphones. So clearly Andrew Sheps knows how these sound and he knows them inside out and he can make mixing decisions with them. I personally just don't like them. I just find them really, really unpleasant. And even for tracking, I would be very reluctant to give these to a singer to monitor their vocals through because they sound really harsh and nasal. So I wouldn't want them to listen to their voice like this because they would be kind of turned off by this. So for these ones, I would place them into unexceptional. I think they're a very decent pair of headphones. It wouldn't be my first choice, but the price is not bad and they're comfortable. But the reason why I don't place them on the last tier is because these are useful for things like, let's say you're on a film set and you are recording an interview and you want to be able to hear every little crackle and, you know, cloth noise or any like dangling kind of metal chain or anything like this. These guys, because they are so exaggerated in the mid-range, they will tell you this and they will give you like an alarm signal that, oh, hold on, something is going on there, where if they were more balanced, maybe this wouldn't be easy on a noisy kind of environment like a film set. Because I also do a lot of filming, I still keep them because these are useful for these things. But still, I don't think it warrants the fact that you see all the audio guys on film sets wearing these headphones. I think there are better choices. Moving on. The next pair of headphones are the Audeze LCD-X's. This is the original version. I know that they have an updated version, but quite honestly, these things are so expensive, I just couldn't justify getting the new version. I hear that the new version is improved. These headphones are sensational. If you've never tried planar headphones before, you'll be blown away. These will give you a completely different experience when it comes to sound, when it comes to the sound stage, when it comes to the whole kind of image of the music that you're listening to. I used to use them quite a lot for mixing and mastering, and I have my pros and cons for them. The pros is that they offer a sound that is very, very hard to obtain with any other pair of headphones. These are truly unique, but I always use them with the ARC On-Ear because these need correction. They're not flat. They have a little bit of a scooped mid-range and then they have some frequencies that are exaggerated. So I would say that I wouldn't really use these without correction. And one thing about the LCD-X is they're open back, so they bleed quite a bit, and if you're listening to music through them, the other person in the room is listening the music as well with you. So keep that in mind. These are open back, but that's why they're more suitable for mixing and mastering. The second thing that I don't like about these headphones is that they are very noisy. For the price, I don't think this is acceptable. And the other thing is that these screws always just catch my hair and they pull them. I hate that. But I guess if you don't have long hair, you're not gonna have a problem like this. The third thing is these are super duper heavy, very, very heavy pair of headphones. So for extended periods of time, I wouldn't really recommend them. That being said, these are the headphones that I use when I want to listen to music and enjoy it. I use correction, yes, but the sound that these headphones give you, even after the correction, is just really special. So for these ones, I would place them into my top choice. And they're not going into the gut tier because of all the things that I mentioned, and also they're not that flat. Also, they're super expensive. So I want all these things fixed before moving them to the gut tier. Right here, I want to mention that regardless of what headphones I use at any given time, there's one thing that I tend to use with all of them, because there's no such thing as a perfect headphone out there with a true flat response. This thing doesn't exist. And that's the ARC On-Ear from IK Multimedia. This allows you to correct any of the headphones that you own super easily. I bought this with my own money, and I've already talked about it in my best studio gadgets video, which you guys seem to really love. The great thing about the ARC On-Ear is that it's super tiny, so you can take it with you anywhere, and you can use it in two ways. You can either incorporate it into your audio interface to correct any model of headphones. So in this case, you would just plug the included cable, and this would go into your audio interface, and then you connect your headphones here and you listen to the corrected version of your headphones. Or you can take it on the road and plug it into your computer because it has USB-C, making it essentially a high-end DAC and audio interface with instant correction built in. And if you want to use it with any other device that doesn't have power, it even has a built-in battery, so you can operate it completely standalone. You can store up to 5 headphone profiles on the device itself, so you don't even need it connected to a computer to switch between your different pairs. So this video is brought to you by IK Multimedia, and if you're using any headphones at all, I would totally check ARC On-Ear out. Let's move on to the next pair of headphones. The next pair of headphones is not super popular, but you've seen me wearing these for ages, for years and years on my videos, and these are the Steinberg SD-H1s. These were part of the recording bundle or something like this. I don't remember how it was called. And quite honestly, these are insanely good for the price. I mean, these were coming with a bundle, but I think that nowadays, if you want to get these, I don't think you can buy them anymore, but if you want to get like a similar kind of model, I think they're pretty much identical to the Audio-Technica M50x's, and these are like $40 or something like this. These, for the price, if we think that the price is around $40 to $50, they're amazing. When I first got them, I thought, okay, it's a nice extra pair of headphones to have around, but they were so good that I started using them on every one of my videos. I know them so well. Now, the reason why I started using them so much is because they isolate very well, they're comfortable, you don't feel them, they're light. Yes, they don't have a detachable cable, and if that breaks, I don't know what happens. But quite honestly, if you replace any of the parts on the other headphones that I showed you, you could get a new pair of these, to be honest with you. So it's not like a massive problem. The ear cups are not that great. I don't like them so much. They are a little bit on the kind of, I don't know if you can see that, on the kind of plasticky kind of side. It's not very comfortable, and they make you sweat a little bit, but the sound is very balanced for the price and for the category. If you ask me, would you get the Sonys or these? I would say these, like any day. These are not harsh. These don't sound like super hyped. They have a tiny bit of low-end bump, but they're not offending headphones. They're not the headphones that you're going to put on and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this sounds terrible. What's going on with this? They're great for recording. I find that they are the most pleasing headphone for recording singers. They don't look so good, to be honest with you, so that's why I have some other headphones that I'm going to show you in a second. But I've mixed on these. The mix have translated very, very well. Would these be the headphones that I would make critical decisions for mastering? Maybe not, but I love producing on these. I love doing sound design on this. And for the equivalent headphone, the Audio-Technica M50x's, I would say these are a steal. So these, I'm going to place them to, I would say, gets the job done. They're not my top choice, but they have been the headphones I've been wearing for the past, I want to say, 7 years. So yeah, pretty good. Moving on, we have the legends, the Sennheiser 650s. These, just like the Beyers, you can replace everything. So again, I've had this for maybe 8 years now. I know them so well. I've replaced the ear cups. I've replaced this headband cushion here. These are also open back like the LCD-X's, and they bleed. I don't think they bleed as much as the LCD-X's, so you can't use this for recording, of course. When it comes to these headphones, I would say these are the headphones I would trust the most for mixing and mastering. These are headphones where I would base decisions on. They are very flat as a headphone can be, and they actually give you a very good representation of your material. These are the only headphones, I would say, that I could use them without correction if I had to, because they are very, very truthful. And if you learn them, you can actually mix on them. Is there any drawbacks on these headphones? The only thing that I could think of is that maybe they're a little bit, let's say, polite on the top end. So if you have a sibilant vocal, these headphones are not gonna scream at you. They're not gonna tell you, hey, you have like lots of sibilance on your vocal. This is the only thing that I would double check for these headphones. So I would do my mix and master on these headphones for 95% of the time, and then for the 5% of the time, I would use something like the LCD-X's, or I would use the 770s for like 5 minutes to check the sibilance. These are all things, by the way, that I talk about on my mastering masterclasses. I talk about how to mix on headphones, how to have a strategy when monitoring. So if you haven't checked my mastering masterclasses, check them out. I'm going to have them down below. And there's another thing, my mixing masterclass is almost ready. So it might be already there by the time you watch this video. So these, I would place them easily in the God tier, as good as it gets. If you had to pick a high-end pair of headphones, these are like half the price of the LCD-X's, by the way. I would choose these ones. If you told me I'm taking all the headphones away from you and I'm gonna leave you one pair of headphones, not for tracking, of course, right? You can't use this for recording because they're open back. But if I have to choose one, I would choose these ones any day. Next up, we have the Verum 1 headphones. I've made a video about these. This is a small company that makes these headphones. They're based in Ukraine. When I tried these, I made a video about them, and I think they're a very decent pair of headphones. These are the gateway headphones for this kind of planar sound, like with the LCD-X's. So if you can't afford the LCD-X's and you want like a very, very good pair of headphones, these are going to be a great choice for you. Now, these ones are also open back, so you can't record with them, but they are really, really good. They sound great. I would be more inclined to listen to these without any correction than the LCD-X's. With these ones, I don't feel that I require the correction so much because they don't have all these like massive peaks and valleys. They're not like fully flat, of course, but they are, I feel, more safe than the LCD-X's version 1. The only thing that these headphones are lacking is maybe the build quality. They actually feel cheaper than the LCD-X's, there's no question about it. The ear cups are really, really nice, you know, very nice and comfortable. I use them a lot for sound design, these ones. When I don't worry that I'm going to bother anyone, when I'm creating sounds for Yamaha for the montage, I use these because I think these are really nice and I can trust them. I need critical listening with sound design, and I want to be able to listen on headphones, not just monitors. So these are really nice, comfortable. The headband, I don't like it so much, but for the price, I think these are really good. So I would place them, I would say, top choice. Get in touch with them. I don't know what's the shipping right now, the shipping times and all these things, but they're a small company, so they will respond to you. This is not carbon fiber, by the way. This is like plastic as far as I understand, but they also have like versions in wooden kind of finish and all these things. Next we have my new favorites, and these are the focal Lensys. Now these are closed back headphones, right? They're not open back, and these headphones are just insanely good. By the way, I paid for these. Focal doesn't even know. I'm telling you straight away because I really like these, and I don't want you to think that, you know, they sent them to me or they paid me to say this. I bought them with my own money, full price, and these are the best closed back headphones that I've ever tried when it comes to mixing and mastering. I would say that this would be the only closed back headphone I would use when I'm mixing and mastering to make critical decisions. I would use these ones along with the 650s. These are very flat for a pair of headphones, so check it out. This is the ARC On-Ear, and this is the correction that it does. And you can see the blue line, right? There's a little bit of dip at 2K, a little bit of bump at 10K, but it's very minimal compared to other headphones. So even if the graph wasn't showing this, I can tell you that before checking out the graph, I felt these sound proper. These sound to me like an open back headphone. That's the impression that they give me. The sound stage, the openness, the whole kind of 3D dimension. I would only expect this in open back headphones. But these deliver, and these are closed back, which means they isolate better. I can use them for my videos. That's why you've seen me switching to this on my videos lately, because these actually give me a little bit more information when it comes to the top end and the sibilants. These actually scream at you when you have sibilants compared to the Steinberg ones. The Steinberg ones are a little bit more polite. Things that I don't like: they're not the most comfortable headphone. They look comfortable, but they really just press against your skull, which is, at some point, they start becoming uncomfortable. I don't like the fact that I can't collapse them. And one thing that I absolutely hate about them is that the cables are super short. What's up with that? I don't know why they're so short. Like the one of the cables is like not even a meter or something like this, and the second one is like a coil cable that actually doesn't really work. So I had to go and create like a custom cable and, you know, just have it there so I can actually use them in real world scenarios. I don't know why the cables are so short. Focal, these are great. Can we please have longer cables? Now these ones, I'm going to place them into the God tier. You know, I could live with these headphones or the HD650s and I would be happy. I can just do everything that I want. I can produce, I can mix, I can master. With the combination of a pair of monitors, these are really good reference headphones, and they're not like on the very, very high end of the headphone prices, you know? So these were, I think I paid like around 600 UK pounds for these. Yes, they're expensive, but the quality justifies the price. Now the next pair of headphones, I can't show it to you straight away because Vili, our videographer, is wearing it right now. So Vili, can I just take it for a second? Can I get these headphones? Okay, thank you. And these are the Audio-Technica ATH50X. Now I know that my opinion about these headphones is going to make some people really angry, and that's okay. These headphones, they have been hyped so much by the tech community. I think there was a point where MKBHD was swearing by them. He was saying that these are the most truthful headphones. They are really flat and they are not hyped and all these things. But with what do you compare them to? Are you comparing them to Beats headphones? Then yes, these are more truthful. But honestly, these headphones I've bought 3 times. The first time I bought like a special edition, which was like a brown, very nice color. They looked amazing. And it was the time where these were very popular. So I put them on and I was like, what the hell is this? I couldn't believe my ears. This sounded terrible to me. And I thought at first that maybe I just have to break them in. Who knows? They cannot be that bad. I broke them in. I tried them. I tried to love them because they are really nice. You know, they look amazing. I think they are the best looking headphones when it comes to, you know, people just love them. you collapse them, they have different kind of cables, and you get a lot of cables in the box. Really nice. The sound, I can't stand them. These look good, and you know, sometimes I get singers in the studio, they want to take like a selfie or they want to take a little video, and these look nice. They always appreciate that I have them. I always try to recommend we use different pairs of headphones, and when they try them on, they agree, but these are good for the pictures. The second reason why I bought them, it was more important, and that was because Eero, who edits a lot of the videos in the production company that we have, she has these in orange, and sometimes I had to cross-reference with her, so let me hear what you're hearing so we could have like a same point of reference. So I bought them for this, and even after this, my opinion still stands. These are not good headphones. I would never recommend them. I think Audio-Technica has much better headphones. Even the 20s I think are way better than these. These sound a little bit harsh, they sound nasal, they sound overly bright, they have a weird kind of like compressed low end, but it's hyped at the same time. They have a scooped like low mid range, but the worst thing is that I put them on and I always feel that something is wrong with the audio, and this is not right, especially when there's actually nothing wrong with the audio, because every other pair of headphones tells me no, you're fine. My monitors tell me you're fine. These guys always have something bad to say about the audio. I don't know how people like these, but again, it's so subjective, so I wouldn't say if you try them and you like them, no problem. I would never recommend them for anything, maybe apart from the same reason why Billy is using them right now, and this is to hear if, you know, I just do this with my shirt, there's rustling or anything like that. They're revealing when it comes to this. I would get the Sonys before I got these though. So for these ones, I would place them. I'm sorry if you like them, really sorry. I'm gonna put them in. Do we really not have anything else around? If I saw these somewhere, I would be like, do we have any other headphones? And yeah, I just not for me. Anyway.
Can I open back?
Oh yeah, sure. There you go, Billy.
Thank you.
Awesome. The last pair of headphones on my list is something that I got a lot of questions about when they were released, and these are the Rode headphones. Now, these, I bought them as an emergency pair of headphones. I was away from London for a production on a different country. I just happened to get a gig and I didn't have a pair of headphones with me. So I went to a local store and they had a few pairs of headphones, but some of them I already had, and I thought it's gonna be a waste to buy the same pair of headphones. So I bought the Rode DT-100, and I don't have them in the studio with me because I've left them on location right now. I'm traveling a lot, so I've left them there. These headphones, I think they're really good. They are nice sounding, not offending, maybe a little bit hyped in the low end, but they're generally non-offensive. I could mix with them. I would double check. I would use the ARC On-Ear on them. There's a profile for them. It's fine. Are they exceptional? I don't think so. Would it be the first headphone I would buy? Maybe not. They're not that cheap either. They're more expensive than the Steinberg ones, and they're more expensive than the Sony ones, but I would probably buy them in favor of the Sonys. One thing that I like is that you can connect the cable on the left earpiece or the right earpiece, so that's really convenient because sometimes, I mean, especially when I'm filming here, I would really like to have this kind of, you know, cable from here. Why not? That's a genius idea, I think, but now I have to just do this, you know, every single time. You see it on my videos. Well, the Rodes do that. One thing that I don't like is they're not collapsible. You can't collapse them, and they're quite bulky. They're comfortable though. They have a nice cushioning. So this is pretty nice. They have this little kind of cable identifiers with colors. So I like them. You get decent cables inside. I think that if you want to try them out, they're a very decent pair of headphones. I would rank them, gets the job done. It's in the same category like the Beyerdynamics, the M50Xs or the Steinbergs. I think they're decent headphones, mid-range, really nice. Maybe I would prefer them over the 770s, maybe. I think they're not that harsh in the top end, but you know, if your budget is tight, I would totally go for the Steinberg ones. So I think we're done, right? We have our tier list done. And I think we populated every single section, so that's good. So there you go, my friends. These are the headphones I currently have in the studio, ranked from best to worst. Let me know if you want me to make a follow-up video where I show you headphones that I have used in the studio and I hated so much I decided to get rid of them. In the comments down below, let me know which are your favorite and worst headphones. Let's see if we have the same taste. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.